Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Yeah, back at it, baby. Mike Palm in for Mitch Moss. We'll get to Derek Stevens in half an hour. Rough weekend for a Michigan guy. Considering what happened last night with the Lions, win some, lose some coming up and in pocket before we get out of here. How do you feel as an Irish fan?
I think you have to be very proud of the season.
I agree, yeah.
Going into the game, you knew Ohio State is going to have to make some mistakes. Basically, they made two, the Ibuka fumble and one holding penalty. So they played a very clean game. I think they made 5 mistakes when they played Texas. You had 3 huge offensive penalties in the first half that stopped every drive.
Right.
You had that Henderson slapping and then 2 big holding calls.
Big. I think they were going to boat race them if that
And then
didn't
they blew
happen.
the coverage on blue both times in the red zone, right? They're 5. So, right. I mean, if they don't make those penalties and then it's 28-7 at half or 21-7, just like Notre Dame, it's a different game. But they didn't. They played a clean game. They played well. They're very talented. I think Notre Dame got out everything they could out of what the team they had. For me, the big game was the Orange Bowl because they were playing against a team I thought they were even with in Penn State. And it was a great game. And, one Penn State mistake on the end where they threw off the goal line and they were able to kick the field goal. So, got to be happy about Freeman, both coordinators, the direction of the program. So, I have no hard feelings after the game last night. I don't feel any sense of disappointment.
Right. Going for the field goal was bizarre. Wasn't right.
The fake punt was bizarre.
The fake punt was, just line it up with Leonard again and let him run it.
Yep.
You don't have to do any gadget stuff there, even though the kid dropped the pass. But that was big. I mean, because it's if they convert there, I mean, again, you give them points, but that could be a different game too. But it's 31-7 with 7:58 left in the third quarter, and then here come the Irish. And next thing you know, you got to sweat Ohio State. And again, this has been nuts going back to what happened with the divisional round with the Bills total, the finish of the Rams game, and the finish of the Chiefs game. That again, we're sitting here with a 7, 7.5, 8. You were 9. There was 9 at DraftKings yesterday.
We got to 10. We got to 10,
God.
and then back to 8 at kick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 8 was a really bad number for it to land for us.
Oh, wow.
So it saved us some money. Even though we needed Notre Dame to cover, we needed Notre Dame to win the game. Don't forget, there were plenty of parlays. Chiefs money line to Ohio State money line.
No doubt.
Eagles money line to Ohio State money line. And Detroit, of course, but those got knocked
Wiped out, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, great season. I think it lived up to the expectations and the hype. To recap, favorites went 10-1 straight up in the playoff, 9-2 ATS. The higher-seeded team went 7-0 on neutral fields. They mentioned they're going to tinker with the format. They could tinker. I think the one thing they'll do is, you saw Arizona State and Boise get buys, and some people didn't like that. But you see it right there, where a 7 played an 8 in the title game, and then you see what happened on the neutral. The 8 beat the 1, the 5 beat the 4, the 6 beat the 3, the 7 beat the 2, even though the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 5 were all favored over the lower-seeded team. And then the Buckeyes won and covered in all the games as well. And it started with the blowouts. It was unfortunate what happened in the first round, but that's just how it goes. But, Indiana was never in it against the Irish. SMU had a great chance to win, kept turning the ball over in the pick sixes. They were driving. Ohio State put it on Tennessee. That was 21 rip early. And I never thought Clemson could win, but Clemson was inside the 5 with a chance to cut it to 7 late, an entertaining game there. So I would say you must give the 1 seed some kind of an advantage. Oregon went undefeated, and it meant nothing. They didn't get a home game, and they were underdogs in the Rose Bowl. And I would make the quarterfinals campus sites as well. I would do that, too, based on the success we had and how great that scene was. How great was that, with Notre Dame at home in the snow?
How about Penn State? They
Happy
sold
Valley.
100,000 seats.
I know. That was awesome. And Ohio State with all the Tennessee fans there as well. I would do that for the quarters also. So next season, Ohio State is the favorite again. And the Big Ten runs college football. Back-to-back titles. And in the last poll, 3 of the top 5 teams are Big Ten teams. Buckeyes the favorite. You got Georgia up there a little bit. You see Texas the second choice. Oregon, depends where you shop. Penn State as well. I know what you want to say about Franklin. That's fair. Alabama 12-1, I think is ridiculous. Lost 4 games. Who's going to play quarterback? And a tough schedule. Notre Dame 16-1. They have a lot of guys back, and you got Clemson, Tennessee, LSU in that 20-1 range with the future market. The early look at the preseason top 25, ESPN.com. Buckeyes, number 1. You got to replace Will Howard, but you have all that talent, and Henderson. Replace him, but you have all that talent at wide receiver. Are you buying the Arch Manning hype? Okay, just put Texas up there, number 2, and we'll see. He's going to take off. He's going to be awesome. All right.
Well,
I got to see it to believe it.
Look, he played when Ewers was hurt, but when Ewers came back, he got the job immediately. If he was this good, Paul, if he was this good, wouldn't he have taken the spot already? I don't think. I mean, who's drafting Ewers? He takes so long, that motion, so long to deliver the ball. I mean, if Arch Manning is going to be the guy that makes them number 1, then he probably should have been playing at the end of the year this year.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. Penn State, number 3. You lose Carter and Warren, but you get Allen Singleton and Eller back.
That's a really talented defense, Paul. A really talented defense.
Yeah. Notre Dame, 4. I don't have a problem with it. Love's back. Greathouse is back. You went 14-2. You lose Leonard. Is he that hard to replace?
No.
I mean, I love the
as
first
a runner,
drive. Yeah, right.
As a runner.
But he flew over his passing yards, but you have C.J. Carr likely to come in, the grandson of Lloyd Carr. He was rated the number 2 pocket passer in the recruiting class last year by ESPN. Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Clemson 7, LSU 8, BYU 9. Now, as far as the top non-conference matchups going into next year, and we also have numbers at DraftKings and FanDuel. Number 1, August 30th. Likely number 1 against number 2. Ohio State is 3.5 at DraftKings. They're 4.5 at FanDuel against Texas. Arch Manning likely makes his debut, and you're taking on the defending champs, and it's also the rematch of the semifinal game. No, August 30th as well. Number 4, Notre Dame at number 23, Miami. You're breaking in C.J. Carr, and it's going to be Carson Beck with Miami. And that is Notre Dame 2.5 on the road. Michigan at Oklahoma, September 6th. Winter L season for Brent Venables. Michigan was 21.
21, yeah, I'm just looking it up.
Yep, I missed it the first time. Thank you. It could be, yep. First regular season meeting between the teams since 1976 Orange Bowl. Number 8, Clemson at number 7. Number 8, LSU at number 7, Clemson, August 30th. LSU 2.5. We begin the home and home.
Oh, they're playing Death Valley.
This is great. Yeah.
How about the game in Ireland? It's Iowa State, Kansas State, and a Big 12 game.
August 30th?
Iowa State's ranked 11th, and Kansas State's like 15 or 16, I think.
That's
16.
a good game. That's a good game.
Is it true Matt Campbell was interviewing for NFL jobs? Can that be possible?
I don't know. The Bears interviewed everybody.
That's true.
Alabama at Florida State, August 30th. Alabama is 7.5. One of the craziest 2-year runs you're ever going to see. From undefeated to tailspin and 3 wins. TCU at Lombardi and Belichick, August 30th. Win total 6.5, 7.5, depends where you shop on North Carolina. September 13th, Texas A&M at Notre Dame, the rematch of last year. And Texas A&M had a bad end of the season. August 30th in Atlanta, Tennessee at Syracuse. Another good game. That is 13.5. Georgia Tech's 3.5 against Colorado. North Carolina 2.5 against TCU. I think I mentioned that. Pitt at West Virginia. Rich Rod's 3rd game in his tenure at West Virginia, September 13th. September 20th, number 18, Florida at number 23, Miami. And then Notre Dame at Arkansas, September 27th. Man, the Irish play people. I don't get the people knocking their schedule. Paul Stone did it yesterday, too. I mean, if these teams are ranked, we can't say, well, service. They're ranked. I mean,
they were both undefeated.
I mean, come on, I don't get it. I mean, they played 7 ranked teams. Number 15, SMU at TCU. Chapter 4, Sonny Dykes against his old school.
You know who else Notre Dame hosts this year? Boise. Boise goes to South Bend, too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
What a schedule. They were 24th in that poll.
Yeah. South Carolina, Virginia Tech at Atlanta, August 31st. Wisconsin at Bama, September 13th. And I mentioned the Georgia Tech Colorado game as well. Did you give me the number on Kansas State?
They were 16th.
K-State's 1.5 in that game in Dublin. Also some of the marquee games. Auburn 1.5 against Baylor. And yeah, South Carolina is 8.5 against Virginia Tech. Great way to start the season with some of these marquee matchups in your top non-conference games as well. The other thing should be getting more attention is what the ACC is thinking about. This goes back to Sunday. Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, they could consider giving its regular season champion a bye and have teams that finish second or third in the league standings play in the ACC title game. Another possibility is having the top 4 teams play on the final weekend of the regular season. First place, fourth place, or second place, third place, with the winners playing the following weekend in the ACC championship game. He will have conversations with the head coaches on a conference call to get their feedback, pointing out the comments of Rhett Lashley, the SMU coach, leading up to the ACC title game, in which he indicated the Mustangs might be better off not playing to protect its spot in the field. Your point's the best about will other conferences follow suit if they do this. I think they could. That's possible, because there were a good chance they were going to get penalized because they were down big and then made the furious comeback and lost by 3. The conference championship games are important as long as we make them important, Phillips said. And do you play 2 versus 3? You go through the regular season, who wins it, and park them to the side. Interesting. Wild, and I hope they do it as well. Are you kind of player wants to drop $10,000 or more on an NFL line at the best price in the market? Or you're looking for instant acceptance on your in-game bets? You need Sport Trade, the app that's revolutionizing sports betting. $4 lines instead of the standard $10. Instant in-game betting. Player service as well. It delivers a premium betting experience like no other. Live in Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, Arizona, and Virginia. Download Sport Trade today. Use code VEASA and earn 10% cash back on every wager during your first week. Got to be 21 or older to play. Sport Trade. Win some, lose some coming up. Recap what happened with the props in the college national title game, and you will not believe what happened on the NBA card. Follow the money, VEASA, and the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM channel 158.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
A lot of tickets cashed last night. Incredible first drive by the Irish. Paid off with Leonard, first touchdown, 7-1, and anytime touchdown, plus 150. Buckeyes to win by 7 to 12 points, plus 440. Great House anytime touchdown, plus 525. Most receiving yards in the game, 24-1. I did not see 2 touchdowns, or I didn't see 3 touchdowns by Judkins either. I mean, that was a little controversy about the MVP, too. There's a lot of people who had him 14-1. They gave it to Will Howard. I thought it was the right decision, but the kid had 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. And they said no. It's all about the quarterbacks, man. Notre Dame first team to score, plus 155. What was that by the Warriors? This team got off to a hot start, playing like a hockey team. Like with line changes and bringing out new guys, and we're going to play 12 guys, and now they can't win a game. And they got flogged by 40 at home against the Celtics, and the Celtics were bet up from 6.5 to 9.5. Clippers, Bulls under, 233.5 to 227.5. Again, it's on like a 4, 5, 6 year heater. All these games go under on MLK Day, and every single game went under in regulation yesterday in the NBA. College hoops, Penn plus 250. Beat Harvard. Brown plus 320. Georgetown plus 270 on the money line. Lose some. Knicks Hawks over. 231.5 up to 239.5. Jazz Pelicans under. 236.5 down to 230. One lose some if you went to look at this. This was on social media. This is where these Houston Texans fans were to watch the game at Arrowhead on Saturday. The caption was from covers.com, why even bother, why go to the game? I mean, look at, they put you in the very top. You're in the last, and how cold must that be? It's 20 degrees. You got the worst seats in the place. You know, between airfare and the tickets and the hotel and the Uber to the game, concessions. Although last night, did you see what the concessions were? Unbelievable. Like $2 for a hot dog. But this is like, why even bother? I agree. To sit there and go and be put in those seats. I don't get it.
Look at the angle of the seats, Paul.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Why is it coming out of there?
Yeah, I'd be freaked out by that too. Bad beats. Jeremiah Smith under receiving yards prop. Goes over with the bomb late on 3rd down, 56-yard reception. Pelicans Jazz under. It was 110 in regulation. They goes over because of overtime. And Bulls team total. We talked about this and we've been on this when the team makes their first visit to the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play. It was 110.5. The Bulls scored 112. They got the starters in the game in a blowout.
62 points in the second half.
What are they doing?
They had 49 at half.
Yeah. Chat my ass. Ridiculous. Getting ready for Big Game 59 with a big deal to match. Save $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code FTM. Become a VSiN Pro annual subscriber. Bet smarter all year long. Full access, every best bet to help you cash more. Tickets, betting splits, DK and Circa. 24/7 video access to tune in anywhere on the VSiN Watch app. And all our betting guides with the Super Bowl guide coming out as well. Don't miss out on this great deal. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code FTM. Save $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription today. VSiN.com/subscribe. Great college football season in the books. Lived up to the hype. And now we're on to next year, and now we got Championship Sunday in the NFL. Funny how the line's been moving with Washington and Philly. You opened 6, went down to
5.
Opened 5?
5 was our first number, right away to 4.5. And I said the game's going to close 3.5. And then yesterday I saw 6 minus 105. I said I'm going to grab it because how could it go to 6.5? Well, here we are.
Here we are. And then now you're getting like you can see plus 270 on a money line now with Washington. Early thoughts, early lean? Too many points?
It's too many points. They will keep it a close game. It's a one-score game. I think the offense is very potent. The kid makes good decisions. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, that's big. He doesn't play like a rookie.
They were in control the whole game there. I mean, I get it. They forced the turnovers in that, but they're very efficient offensively, and he's got no fear. He seems to have no fear.
Yeah.
And I think Quinn does a good job managing the games.
Well, the fourth down luck run out at some point. It's been big for him here all season and how they've closed the year and in the playoffs.
Well, that's how you live and you die by it. Just like Campbell is the same thing. But I don't think they have any fear of the Eagles.
No, already beat him. The other game was close. Barkley, highest prop ever. He's 128.5 rushing prop. You ever got to see? That's great. It's
well, the thing is, you always think he's going to break one for 80, and then what do you do after that?
Yeah.
You know?
Can you slow? You couldn't slow him down in the first meeting. I know he's going to pop one, but I'm concerned about Hurts and this passing attack. Kellen Moore just said, we can adjust the game plan, but this team is so good. And as I said yesterday, they have the best A game. Went into Cincinnati, blew them out. Mm-hmm. Who does that? Went in to Baltimore, beat them. They were down 2 scores in that game. Took care of Washington. They have a hell of a resume.
You said this is very well said. The best A game.
Yeah, they do.
Like Ohio State. The best A game.
Yeah, with the defense that they have, we'll see if Mitchell plays. But when you get that passing attack working, because you know about the running game in the O-line, it's just here's some Goddard, here's some Brown, here's some Smith, and I give him Mix and Dotson, and I can take off and run if I'm Hurts. They should be unstoppable.
Well, they came out the first drive against the Rams, pass, right. And then they ran Hurts for 42.
Boom, easy stuff, though.
Right, easy.
It's there for him. Mm-hmm. It's like the Goddard touchdown to Green Bay. That's right there. It's a simple throw.
It's a lot like they did 2 years ago when they met Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Easy stuff and a great running game.
Yeah. Can you get there with the Bills, or does history play into it? And just this luck factor in the officials seem to get Casey gets every break.
I was set to, if this game was a pick or Casey won, make a big wager on Baltimore, if it was Baltimore and Kansas City.
I think Baltimore would have won comfortably.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can wager on this game and just pull for the Bills because I'd like to see them in the Super Bowl. But it's very hard to bet against Kansas City. But I think Baltimore would have been able to put up enough points that you would have had Kansas City have to score 30 for the first time to win. Because I just think there's too many ways they can attack them.
Baltimore and or Buffalo against the Lions would have been just incredible.
It was a great game, but Buffalo and Detroit this year.
Absolutely. Yep. NHL card tonight. Deep card, and the goal in the first 10 streaks. Again, the numbers. Always get the best of the number because it's minus 220 at DraftKings. It's $1.45 here. Your big boy is Detroit at Philly. Detroit is on a 16-1 run and 12 in a row goal in the first 10. The Flyers have done it 11 in a row. Seattle has done it 11 in a row as well. Boston, 10 of 11. Chicago, 12 of 13. How good are they for business? With the props and how they score in the first period overs as well. Played some high-scoring games. Leafs, 17 of 20. Edmonton, they're at home tonight, but they're 18-3 on the road. Goal in the first 10. Montreal, 6 in a row on the road. They're at home tonight. Seattle, in addition to the 11 in a row, is 5 in a row on the road. Buffalo, 15-3 run at home. The Rangers, who host Ottawa, 16-4 run at home. Ottawa, 10 of their last 11 games have gone under. Total 5.5 tonight. That's a good game with Washington and Edmonton. Edmonton only a $1.30 favorite. Short card in the NBA. I don't like much from a side standpoint because you got big numbers here and no Embiid again. And it's a 13-point spread with Denver in the early game. The Knicks are playing the Nets, and that's a double-digit spread as well. That's unfortunate how it worked out. Always go to vsin.com and fire up the prop analyzer. There's great stuff on there, and it pops right out, points, rebounds, assists, anything you want, much like NFL. Sabonis has made a 3 in 27 of the 38 games, $1.50. Mikal Bridges, 31 and 13 under with the rebounds. Caldwell Pope, 27-11 run under with the rebounds. R.J. Barrett, 23 and 11 under run with the rebounds. Claxton, 18 and 8 under run with the rebounds.
Here's a note from our friend Jonathan Davis, VSiN's hockey expert. Skinner has won 9 straight off a loss, and Logan Thompson is 0-3 all-time versus Edmonton. Also, Sabres are on a back-to-back and are 1-6 on the back ends of back-to-backs, and 2-13 overall when playing on consecutive days.
Good numbers.
Gave up 6 in Seattle yesterday, the Sabres.
Much like the Georgiev numbers he had. Yeah. And he's in goal tonight, should be in goal tonight for San Jose.
Better be.
Yeah, Mike played Nashville, the best bet on the puck line, minus 145. His teams are 3-20 and 4 in the first period. Those are just staggering numbers. And he got a $4 favorite tonight in hockey.
The Kansas State-Iowa State game is August 23rd.
It is?
Week 0 in Dublin. Mm-hmm.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
How many games are week 0? Is that out yet?
I don't know. Usually there's
about
8 or 9, but some of them
right.
are.
That's not bad. That's a good way to start the season.
It's a big Big 12 game.
That was right. And Georgia Tech shocked Florida State last week, but we knew what was coming, I guess, after that as well. All right, it was a great weekend here for Circa. We'll recap what happened and also try to put it in perspective with the handle and how it compared to Wild Card weekend. And Derek said it would be the second most popular weekend behind the Super Bowl after what happened with 5 straight nights of playoff games. We'll recap the divisional round, look ahead to the conference championships, Circa Squares coming out soon, Super Bowl props, and also something he wants to get into that can change and will be the future of sports. Derek Stevens, CEO of Circa, in studio next. Pauly Howard, Mike Palm. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Sirius XM Channel 158, YouTube TV.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, here we go, baby. We're back. CEO of Circa, Derek Stevens, as usual time every Tuesday. Recap what happened, tell you everything going on at Circa and the 3 properties. CircaLasVegas.com. Come on down. You got to be here for Championship Sunday. Also, the Super Bowl. Get your cabanas, get your room. CircaLasVegas.com. Golden Gate, the D or Circa. Don't forget about the Golden Gate. Love it. Just had their birthday. 119 years old. Love the suites. And get the penthouse and go nuts with the grill out there. Bring a big crew in as well. Chief, good to see you. Condolences, though. Rough weekend.
Appreciate that.
I mean, I'm rooting for the Lions so hard. 15-2, and then you saw what transpired on Saturday.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, for Lions fans, everybody kind of went in. They felt pretty confident, and it fell apart. I would say the game plan, though, how's the best way to say it? Game plan was kind of cocky, maybe a little arrogant. Nobody in the backfield on 3rd and 1. Mm-hmm. Jameson Williams, he's hired to catch balls, not throw into triple coverage. You know, there's just goes on and on and on. But it was frustrating. I mean, obviously. Yeah, we were frustrated. We thought this was the year.
No kidding.
You know, windows close in the NFL quickly.
Yeah. How do you feel now? Johnson goes to Chicago, and the Jets are finalizing the deal with Glenn.
Well, I guess I would say it's amazing. It's amazing. Aaron Glenn, you know, the game plan he put together on the final regular season game against the Vikings was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And then the game plan.
Was it? Or was it just Darnold?
Or was it Darnold?
Darnold being really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then the game plan against Washington, everybody knew they struggled with the running quarterback, but boy, did they ever struggle. It was something. We can't have that many turnovers either. So
Yep. How'd it go for the House, though? Was that the number one liability?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess that's the solace I have here. So the House did okay. I mean, yeah, they pounded away on everything with the Lions. Pounded away with. We had a lot of these parlays and with the big favorites. It was Chiefs, Lions, Ohio State, Eagles in the mix. You blow a couple of favorites, but the Lions was the big favorite. You blow the Ravens because Ravens had a good amount of two-way action, but more on the Ravens.
Yeah, you got to.
But it was a road
team.
Yep. So the big one on the weekend that kind of blew things up was the Commander Lion game.
You mentioned to Paul that you wanted to talk about Netflix and how Netflix was going to change sports as we know it. The floor is yours.
You guys had to come on. I mean, Mike, I had lunch with you in my office today, and Mike had to leave right before the market closed. My lunch goes an extra half hour, and then we're up there watching the market close. And, Netflix reported earnings today. Mm-hmm. Holy smokes. I mean, they expected, Wall Street expected Netflix to gain 8.9 million subscribers in the fourth quarter, October through December. And they came in at almost 18 million, like double what was expected. Blew things out for a handful of reasons, but sports is a big one.
Sure.
I mean, 2 Christmas Day games, massive. They use that to parlay that into marketing Squid Games.
Damn right.
And then effectively the most streamed event ever in Tyson Paul. This Tyson Paul fight.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't much of a fight at the end of the day, but boy, everybody in the world wanted to see it. And the number of people that signed up to Netflix is unbelievable. It's so strong that Netflix is raising its prices, like effective immediately. On the low plan where you get all the ads, it goes up $1 for all the others is going up $2. I mean, this is unbelievable. The rights fees that they're paying to the NFL originally, when people said, "Oh my God, it's crazy," that might look like the steal of the century. The value of Netflix from a couple hours ago till right now, the value is up about $40 billion. It's unbelievable. And NFL gets a product that gets shipped, gets seen worldwide. So it's going to change everything the way American football is going to be watched around the world now.
So, yeah, it changes the future of sports, and it's kind of like the gym membership, right? I get charged for it every month, but I forget about it if I'm not using it. But there's so many streaming devices, I have to get it to watch the NFL. And then once I'm there, I sign up for the year. It comes out every month. And I'm watching Squid Game and all the other stuff that they have and everything that they offer. Same thing with Amazon, right? So we got Amazon, we have Netflix, and you think this will continue where it's because the playoff game got a ridiculous number too, Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
I mean, you think about when there were some NBA franchises that traded maybe like 6-8 years ago. People thought those numbers were crazy. Now they're going off at 5 times that.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing here on these rights fees, these streamers got it down. I mean, they're going to be able to put this out all over. I think for sure, when you start thinking about the NFL, this guarantees a massive increase in the international games. I mean, I could definitely see at some point. Now the wheels got to be spinning in New York, thinking about
yes.
Why don't we go to everybody's talking about this 18-game schedule? Let's go. Let's be honest. Let's take the next step here. Let's go to 9 home games, 9 road games, and 1 international. So every team has to play 1 international game. You have a 19-game season. You don't need any of this. You don't need any of this preseason stuff. This preseason stuff's a joke. 10 teams didn't even play their quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. But no owner wants to give up these home games.
Right.
And even the way they're doing it right now, where owners got to flip-flop. So next year is an AFC 9 game, when the NFC is an 8 game. But, at some point, these international games is where it's at. That's where these rights fees are coming from.
He wants to do 18 anyways.
Yeah, he wants to do 18 for sure.
He wants 19.
Yeah. Well, I'm just putting it out there.
Goodell wants 18.
He wants people to have to go 23-0 and survive. 19.
Well, couple of
Christmas and Thanksgiving,
and a couple of bye weeks and a couple of bye weeks and all that. But we got to get more than 20. I mean, 20 is getting a little bit a little easy, but the way these rights fees are going, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like what Netflix and what Amazon's going to do and everything else like that.
How long you think? I think this is going to happen. How long you think?
Oh,
No more preseason. We're just doing 20 games.
Yeah, I think
That's the way to go.
It's got to happen pretty soon. I don't know about 20, but I mean, I think next step, let's get to 18.
Double
but
bye.
I mean, the amount of money that this is going to go up is just so massive, so massive.
Yeah,
and it's good. I mean, think about now. We started off with week 0 out here, a couple week lead time with college, and then you go all the way into Super Bowl at the end of February. That's the future right there.
Have you looked into advertising rates on Netflix? Is this why you're so bullish on this?
That's a different model. It's a different model. But I mean, what they're charging and the number of subscribers, I mean, up 18 million subscribers. Okay. It's up $20 a month. That's not bad.
They did it the right way.
Yeah.
You put those 2 games on. You got the big halftime show, like Mike mentioned. People have to tune in to watch that. And then you're just pumping Squid Game 2 nonstop, which came out at midnight.
Totally understand now why they spent as much on a halftime show as what you do for the Super Bowl, because this was a worldwide audience.
Yes.
13 minutes of Beyonce, and we had 70 seconds of Travis Scott pre-taped last night for a national championship game.
Oh yeah, you can't compete.
Well, because I think they wanted to show Trump's message. I think it couldn't have been too long. So you're sitting there, regardless of who the House needed, but of course we know they needed Notre Dame. What were your feelings as a Michigan fan watching Ohio State play for the national championship?
Well, I mean, you know,
are you cheering for them because they're a fellow Big Ten school?
I can make a joke, Mike, and say, I'm glad Ohio State won, but you can't be a champ unless you could beat a champ, and they can't beat a champ.
Here we go.
But that's not where I'm going to go with this story. That's not where I'm going to go with this. I was actually rooting, and I would tell you that's why I was very calm and quiet with you. I was actually rooting for Ohio State last night, and here's the reason. I would have been good with either team winning, but I thought it was pretty cool. You got Michigan wins one year, you got Ohio State winning the next year. I thought it was pretty great for the Big Ten. We like Big Ten football. We like Notre Dame football as well. That's why I really like this matchup. I thought it was good. Good. It's not just an absolute layup for the SEC every year.
It was great. We're back-to-back years now. When the square's going to be ready?
Oh, they'll be ready, I think, Monday evening. I think they're doing a little bit of prep work based upon how the matchups play out. But Monday evening we'll have Circa squares up for a good 13 days, ready to go.
And what's going on tonight?
Oh, tonight, big convention in town. You know, called shooting, hunting, outdoor tourism show. And even though it's chilly out, I think we got 1,500 people. They rented out Stadium Swim tonight.
Oh,
big
my
screen,
God.
all that should be a lot of fun.
CircaLasVegas.com. Book your stay now. Use VSiN15. Get 15% off. Thanks to Derek for doing this. It's at Circa, the D, and Golden Gate. Come watch the games. Get your Super Bowl party booked. They were packed and full last night, all weekend. You couldn't walk in here during Super Bowl weekend, wild card weekend. It's the spot to be. CircaLasVegas.com. Book your stay now. VSiN15 to get 15% off. Thank you very much. Good information. Up next, In Pocket, what we're betting coming up on Follow the Money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
Algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
Winner last night, controversial. Will Howard, MVP, $1.10. I agreed with it. But, he was 17 to 21 and took him right down the field the first 4 drives. So I understand Judkins 3 touchdowns and 100 yards. A lot of people thought he had a shot at 14 to 1. He did. But that's what you're up against when you're competing against a quarterback that they seem to win every award. Chiefs on the money line against the Bills. Commanders plus 5.5. I'm surprised at the line movement. Eagles back up to 6.5 in some spots as well. Also, I'll get to expand on the 76er thing in a second as well. Goal in the first 10 tonight. It's $1.45 at Circa. It's your big boy. Got to get this one tonight. 11 in a row for the Flyers. 16 of 17 for Detroit, including 12 in a row. They go head-to-head tonight. Goal in the first 10. And Kelsey, over 69.5 receiving yards in the AFC title game. Last 4 AFC championship games. 11 for 116 and a score. He's plus 125 at DK to score. 7 for 78 and 1 touchdown. 10 for 95 and a touchdown. 13 for 118 and 2 touchdowns. They keep him in the garage all regular season, and he unleashes hell in the postseason, much like he did last week, 100 yards, and that paid 7-1. His receptions prop is 6.5. So let's go with that as well. And I'll get to a couple more in a second. Mike DePalm, take it away.
Okay, we
Go
talked
get 'em.
about this on the G-Bank Best Bet. Georgiev in net tonight for San Jose. The Sharks are in Nashville. Look, the Predators have won 3 straight on this homestand, rested since Saturday. It's a back-to-back for the Sharks. They played in Boston yesterday, losing. And Georgiev's been awful. You had the stat, 3-20 and 4 in first periods. This game's at $4 on the money line. I'll lay the puck in a half for minus 140. I can see the argument Predators first period as well. I'll take the 6. You can get 6.5, but this is what I bet yesterday. Commanders plus 6 minus 105 against the Eagles. I think that line is just too high for the team that's clicking offensively like that, and we're not sure of Hurts' health. And then it's very interesting. Back-to-backs in Canada for the Lightning, and they went with Johansson in net last night in Toronto. So you get Vasilevsky tonight against the Canadians. I went under 6.5, laid the 120 for the game, Paul.
All right. Also like Kincaid over 34.5. KC's terrible against tight ends. Schultz had 4 for 63 last week. And the other one that I mentioned, I was watching the Brian Windhorst podcast with Tim Bontemps and Tim McMahon. And Tim Bontemps has been following the Sixers around for a couple years, covering them. And he, goes to various places, but he's big covering the Sixers. And they had high expectations in what they did in the offseason. So he's on yesterday, and they are talking about just how bad this is and how ugly this season has been for Philadelphia and what's ahead and concerned about the future. So when I bet $1.40 last week to miss the playoffs. Now, shop around, it's like $2.20 in some spots as well, but I still think it's mispriced because they want to punt on the season. And he had the article last week on ESPN.com that they're going to pivot on what they're going to do based on this tough road trip and this schedule. So they continue to lose games. But the only thing why this isn't over and they haven't decided for sure what to do and punt is because Chicago keeps losing games. The only team they can catch is Chicago. And the Bulls are the 10 seed, and that's what you got to get to at least get in the play-in. And, I mean, why would you even be excited about making the play-in if you're the Sixers and just, but they got to keep their draft pick because their future, McCain's out for the year and what they spent in the offseason, which I'll get to in a second. So Chicago keeps losing games, or this would have been much higher where they are in the standings, up 2.5. But this schedule, which we talked about, which includes several back-to-backs, and Embiid hardly plays anyways, they've lost 6 in a row. No one's making shots. They can't defend. They got run out in Milwaukee. They got run out at Indiana. They got run out. Well, then they survived. They came back, lost in overtime to the Knicks. The Thunder pounded them at home, and they lost to New Orleans at home. At Denver, no Embiid. Embiid has played 13 games this season and swelling in the knee again. They're not even, putting a reason why he's out. It's just, he can't go with the knee. And he's due like $60 million coming up in the back end of that contract. They just gave Paul George all that money. He's averaging 17 a game. He's struggling with his shot. There's 3.5 years left on that deal. Denver, Cleveland, Chicago, L.A., Sacramento, Denver, Boston, Dallas, Miami, Detroit, Milwaukee. These are all playoff teams or teams in the mix. And once this is over, February 7th, assuming the Bulls can actually win a couple games, this thing will be over. And then they'll decide that's it. We're just going to shut Embiid down. What's the point? Let's try to keep our draft pick and get a shot at maybe we could walk into something with a top 5 pick. And the Bulls are no bargain. They got the big win in L.A. last night. They had lost 5 in a row. Also, there's some bad teams. And Atlanta's good, but Atlanta didn't play anybody in that game when they lost. They lost at home to New Orleans. They lost at home to Charlotte. Ridiculous. But they got the big win last night. So, still, they should get a couple wins here and really separate because of what's going on here with Philadelphia. So, I still think it's mispriced. And for a guy who's covering the team, talking about the dire straits and what they're in, I think even if you're tying up your money for a couple of months, it's a good bet knowing that this is the direction that the organization wants to go. And unmitigated disaster was thrown around as well, what the future holds. Because the guy just doesn't play. He's played 13 games and came out before the season. I don't play back-to-backs. What's his trade value? Considering he's going to be due $60 million at the back end of that. There's no way you can trade for the guy. It's kind of like the Pelicans missed it with Zion Williamson. Always hurt, out of shape, late for the flight. It's like, you missed it. What are you going to get for the guy? And the Clippers benefited from just telling Paul George to walk. They're going to probably win the division. And they're in first place and doing this without George and even with Kawhi out for much of the season. So thought that was a good podcast as well.
I asked Zach Cohen, Paul, on my show on WLS in Chicago last Saturday night, is there anyone that can really beat OKC in the West? And he gave me a surprising answer. He said, your team, Timberwolves.
Really?
The only team that he thinks.
He didn't say Dallas?
No. He thinks the Timberwolves are the only threat to OKC.
Interesting. I would pick Dallas. But this is unfair, what's going on with OKC. Oh, they're covering all these numbers, and they have their 2 best defenders in, and they have the number 1 defense by a wide margin. Incredible. So, yeah. In the East, it's crazy. I mean, Boston continues to lose games as double-digit favorites.
They have to have some
right.
motivation going into the game, like it's the Warriors,
I know.
They just don't play at all.
I know.
If it's not a challenge to them, forget it. Play against them.
Yeah, and I think during this stretch, is it like 25th in three-point percentage during this bad stretch? Which, if you're going to take 40 to 50 of them a game, you're doomed. So you would think the motivation at some point here, which still now that Knicks to win the division ticket has more life, even though they're struggling. But nice win by the Cavs as well. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now live 24/7. Sirius XM Channel 158, whether you're at home, on the road, or on the go. More ways than ever to tune into VSiN. Stream us live, VSiN.com, VSiN Watch App, YouTube TV, iHeartRadio, Fire TV, Roku, and now Sirius XM. I can't believe the amount of business you guys are doing. Number one, handle and how the book is sold out and packed for all these playoff games, college and pro.
This was the first national championship football game that really moved the needle for us.
Wow.
That we were able to sell. Even the overhang was sold out. They brought the girls that served the sports book and served the underhang and overhang because there were so many pods that were sold and tables on the overhang that was sold. There were no seats. If I would have wanted to sit in the book, there wasn't a spot, not a recliner, not a booth or anything. We had pod one for our crew. I really thought I was going to have to go down to Bar Canada last night, but I had to stay here. And then Saturday was not so. I was over at Bar Canada early. I mean, 10 a.m. it was already full. And that was a lot of Lions fans just waiting for the night game.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had your Chiefs fans and all that. So it's terrific. The NFL is the king.
How did it
Drives
compare?
Everything.
How did it compare to Super Wildcard Weekend?
So Super Wildcard Weekend still was number one. The Saturday of Super Wildcard Weekend was the number one right date in 3 of our 5 states. Not here, but in 3 of the 5 states, it was the most right ever. And so you had those 5 days, and of course the two semifinal games were great too in the college football playoff, and it was packed on Thursday night. We were packed on Thursday night for the Notre Dame Penn State game, and then of course we had Texas Ohio State leading up to the check ceremony for the contest. So it was a tremendous 5 days, and then we got a great 3 days here this past weekend. Now we got no more Saturdays, no more Mondays. We're just stuck with a Sunday, and a Sunday.
I know. It's unfortunate, no doubt. Did the check ceremony? Did the characters live up to the hype?
It was great. There was a lot of great. The meatballs were great.
Vodka?
There was a vodka, and there's 17 people on Vodka Johnny.
Yep.
How about the second place finishers in the Circa Millions? Was an interesting group of Vietnamese guys from the San Diego area that were lifelong friends. One winner were 2 guys that went to Harvard together. One winner is a neurobiologist. I mean, we say it's a common man's contest. Maybe not so much.
Yeah, right. Excellent job, Mike.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks. Good to see you. Stay tuned. VSiN Primetime. Tim Murray and Matt Humans coming up. Adam Burke, Jeff Sherman, Mike Pritchard, Bruce Marshall. Stick around, cashing out Joe Serralo, 11 p.m. Eastern. And wake up, VSiN by the books with Dave Ross and Ryan Leaf at 7 a.m. Back tomorrow, Sal Pal and Rich Gannon.
Get well, Mitch.